Guyana celebrated their 49th independence anniversary as a cooperative republic, having gained independence from Great Britain on May 26, 1966. In observance of this milestone, a wreath-laying ceremony and flag raising were held significantly at the National Independence Monument, which is the National Independence Arch. The restored and enhanced monument in Upper Brick Dam was a scene of great pomp and ceremony as the observances began with the marching in of the Guard of Honor. The arrival of Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu, which preceded the arrival of President David Granger, were greeted with cheers before the program officially began. The program began with the presidential salute, the blowing of the last post, and 2 minutes of silence, followed by the reval. This was followed by the laying of wreaths in honor of the independence freedom fighters.
On behalf of the workers of Guyana, the 6th week will be made by Leslie Gonzalez, President of the Guyana Media Office. On behalf of Guyana, the Church, Kennedy Island will lead the ceremony. And on behalf of Guyana's youth, a scout, Shireen Stewie.
After the reclaying, President Granger addressed those gathered with a brief review of the path to independence. He noted that the assembly at the monument was to pay homage to those who fought for independence.
We have a duty to continue the work they started to transform a divided colony into a united nation. Today is the day of Thanksgiving. We give thanks for the gift of independence. Independence was not the work of one person or one party. It was the product of a movement of the Caribbean and the Guyanese people. It was a process that took place over a long period of 50 years. Workers were the true pioneers of independence. It was they who rebelled against British colonialism. First, during the distress after the First and Second World Wars in 1918 and 1945 respectively. It was during the labor rebellion of the 1930s that 29 workers were killed and 115 injured throughout the West Indies and British Guyana. Today, we pay homage to the workers for their sacrifice. The legislators followed. Theophilus Lee, the first president of the British Guyana Trade Union Council, the BGTUC, a Chinese Guyanese, and a member of the Legislative Council, moved a motion there that led to the establishment of the Wellington Commission, which in turn led to the introduction of universal adult franchise. This is the same franchise which we exercised 15 days ago in the general and regional elections. It was the Wellington Commission also which put us on the path to internal self-government and finally independence. Today, we pay homage to our legislators for their leadership. It was the ordinary people, however, who bore the brunt of destruction during the disturbances of 1964. The government of the day employed every devious device, including arson and murder, to delay elections under the proportional representation system. This is the same system which installed a new government 10 days ago. Today, we pay homage to the 176 persons who were killed during that awful year, during the struggle for independence. Independence came in 1966 after decades of distress and distrust. Let us now not dwell on the pains of the past, but look with faith to the future. Let the sacrifice of those who struggled and died inspire us today and guide generations to come, tomorrow and beyond. Independence meant change. Change from colony to nation. Change from subject to citizen. Change from subjugation to liberation. Change from discrimination to lives of dignity and equality. Let us recall the wise words of our first Prime Minister, who said, and I quote, "Independence is a means to an end. The end must be the changing of our society and the revolutionizing of the economy." Change, indeed, is never ending. Let us resolve, therefore, to work together to change our society into one of greater equality. Let us strive to change our economy into one of greater prosperity. Let us change our country to a nation of love, a nation of unity. Happy Independence Day. May God bless you. May God bless our country.
Then the golden arrowhead was hoisted. This was followed by the singing of national songs before the program ended. Guyana's independence was gained through a hard fight by former presidents of Guyana, Lyndon Forbes, Sampson Burnham, and Dr. Cheddi Jagan, among others.